Hi guys, my name is Simon, I live in Norway, and today I'm bringing you my best advice on how you can get a successful travel in Norway. As you might know, I have built out an old van which makes it easy for me to explore all the best places in this beautiful country. In the last few years I've been obsessed with spending as much time as possible on the road through Norway, and I've been bringing you guys along on my journeys. I've got some exciting news to share today, and I think this video will be helpful for anyone planning a visit to Norway. So let's get started. First of all, I highly recommend you to travel through Norway using a car, a camper van, or a motorcycle for that matter. This country has so many unique places you need to see, and the public transport option just won't do it for you. And that said, Norway has some incredible roads that you should experience by driving them yourself. Tip number 2. Do some research, plan out your itinerary, and deviate from it. Okay, let me break this down for you. It's essential to have a plan when visiting Norway. This way, you'll see as much as possible with the time you have on your hands, and it will reduce the chance of driving by or missing out on interesting destinations. I love to use Google Maps and add interesting places along my route to get a brief understanding of driving distances and how long it will take to complete certain hikes, etc. Make a note on your phone of your daily plans and add your favorites in Google Maps to quickly access your highlights. And this goes hand in hand with planning out your itinerary. Which place looks best early in the morning when the sun rises? Where would you want to eat your lunch? And where should you spend the night? These are all considerations to take when making your travel schedule. If you want to visit a certain hotel or maybe a specific treetop cabin, you should book these in advance and update your plan accordingly. Research the duration of that glacier hike. Maybe you can combine it with a relaxing sauna session later that day. This research phase will get you fired up before your visit to Norway and will help to ensure that you maximize your stay and the experiences you have. And by the way, I have a surprise for you. Because I get so many questions and inquiries related to traveling in Norway, I have made a comprehensive travel guide that will be your best friend when visiting Norway. My travel guide features several itineraries with different time frames, around 100 scenic destinations that you should check out, including all my favorites. It includes where you can spend the night, wild camps, campsites, and even like one-of-a-kind accommodations. It includes super scenic roads, totally worth the detour, and it has my packing list, all my pro tips, and so much more. These 320 pages include everything you need for an unforgettable road trip in Norway. This passion project of mine is available on my website, linked in the description below. Alright, I mentioned that you should deviate from your plan, huh? Why is that? Well, these are my thoughts. Weather in Norway is really unpredictable, and if you're anything like me, you won't enjoy a long hike in pouring rain. If you plan a 10-hour hike, let's say to Trolltunga, you might want to switch up your plans if the rain keeps falling. Or if you randomly pass a crystal clear lake by a rural road, why not stop and enjoy a refreshing swim? After all, these moments might be the ones you enjoy the most, and I often find these moments the most memorable ones. And by the way, if you're willing to explore Norway while living in a car, a camper van, or maybe even a tent, you'll be that much more flexible, because obviously you don't have any accommodations you need to reach by a certain time. Tip number 3. Spend a night outdoors. Norway's best feature is its nature. And on top of that, it's so accessible and available to the general public. Forget applying for a permit or booking a place for your tent at a campground months in advance. You see, Norway has this beautiful thing called allemannsretten. Basically, it means the right to roam, and it gives a fantastic freedom that Norwegians take for granted. It allows everyone to wild camp virtually anywhere in open country, for free. There are a few caveats, so pause the video here for a quick recap. On your journey through Norway, try sleeping under the open sky or bring a tent and prepare dinner on a mountain ridge. This will be an experience it will be hard to forget. Maybe you even end up doing it midsummer, while the sun up north never sets. Tip number 4. Bring proper gear. I really admire and applaud visitors coming to Norway to experience nature. And maybe it's their first encounter ever with hiking a mountaintop or following a narrow trail through the woods. I highly recommend bringing proper gear, both a solid pair of shoes that offer proper traction on slippery wet trails and a jacket that can be vital if the weather suddenly changes. Wind and rain will quickly be a challenge if you're not wearing proper clothes. Bring a small backpack with some snacks, water, and if needed, an extra layer of clothes. This way you can still cope with the changing weather, and the hike could end up being enjoyable after all. Tip number 5, last but not least, try some local specialties. Even in the most remote corners of Norway, there's often a microbrewery, a local farmer producing cheese, a charming cafe, or an artist selling art. And during summer, you'll find these small booths along the road where local farmers sell apples, cherries, berries. They're often unmanned, so leave some money or pay via your phone to get some delicious treats in season, while supporting the locals. I love to check out local beers and other goods that are unique to their region. This one time I went to a local coffee roastery and I ended up having a complete tour of the roastery, and I think the owner even packed and sealed a fresh bag of beans for me. It's like, you can't beat those moments. So, are you ready to explore Norway? I certainly am, and I'm so looking forward to spending another month on the road in our old camper van. Check my other videos to get more inspiration for your trip to Norway, or buy my guide and make sure you'll have an unforgettable trip to Norway. As always, I appreciate a like on the video to help out the channel, and consider subscribing if you want more of the best Norway content out there. Thanks guys, see you in the next one.